inspiring way to open our chapter meeting today. I will do the Huada version on this to open our meeting today. So next, let's welcome Motivational Strategist Level 1, Linda, to introduce us the word of the day.
Linda, are you sharing screen already? You don't need my slides, right?
Linda, you're muted by the way.
Yes. Hold on. No, I don't need your slides. I'm sharing screen. Okay, Mark. Right. Here. Are my screens okay? Is my screen all right?
What's
Can
the
you
word
see
of
my
the day?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can see my screen, okay.
Yeah.
So the word of the day is Huada. All right, it is a very easy word, a common word, which I think most of us are familiar. Zeal means having great energy and enthusiasm. And it comes in three forms. The word zeal is a noun. You can use it as a noun, or zealous as an adjective. I'll give some examples later. Or as an adverb, that is zealously. As a noun, Terence presented his R-Counters report with much zeal, that is, with energy and enthusiasm. The members of AIA Toastmasters Club are zealous supporters of the mission of Toastmasters. So it's an adjective that describes us being zealous supporters. And finally, Eric upholds the club's reputation zealously, almost guarding, all right, has a connotation of guarding the reputation of the club. So there you have an easy word, zeal. You can use it in different form throughout the meeting for those of you who will be speaking later on. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Vivian.
Thank you, Linda. I zealously start the meeting and introduce our first speaker today. Yes, so next, without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker. She's doing her project in Engaging Humor Pathway Level 1, Project 3, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. Can we invite her project evaluator, Francis, to share the project objective, please?
Thank you, Vivian. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance her speech. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Landy.
Thank you, Francis. Now we will share the timer. Can we invite the timer to tell us the timing sequence as well? The timing sequence is 5 to 7 minutes. At the 5th minute, you will see a green light. At the 6th minute, you will see the yellow light. And at the 7th minute, you will see the red light. So please pin the timer. Celebrated 18-year anniversary in AIA. Our speaker today still think that she's on the runway in this industry. Let's welcome Lenly and her speech, Domesticated to Liberated. Lenly, please.
Have you ever wished you are infected with COVID? A pleasant afternoon, Club President, Toastmasters of the Day, and fellow Toastmaster. BC. It is not before Christ, but before COVID. I travel very often. My passport is stamped, fully stamped, even before the passport expired. I even found my husband when I was traveling. killing two birds with one stone. I'm outgoing, playful, and love adventure. My friends and family often say, I work part-time, I play full-time. When my client called me, the first question they asked, hello, Lenly, are you in Singapore? Can you imagine how I felt during lockdown? I was restless, listless, and lifeless. I talked to my husband, darling, COVID make me domesticated. Domesticated? What type of animal are you? Party animal lor. After 1 week of lockdown, I complained to my husband, darling, COVID made me crazy. Don't blame it on COVID. You were already crazy before COVID. So after the lockdown, when the border opened up on December 2021, I was elated. At last, I'm free. I'm elated. I'm released. But my husband was not keen to travel. He was afraid we were infected with COVID during holiday. 2 months ago, when one of my friends went back to Malaysia for Chinese New Year, she was infected with COVID. When she was planning to come back to Singapore, she had hard time finding VTL flight. But since she was COVID and vaccinated, she was able to take non-VTL flight back to Singapore without quarantine and PCR. Since then, I secretly wish I was infected with COVID. The lucky day came on 15 March 2022. I woke up with a sore throat. That evening, I took ART test. It was a fan line. Next morning, I went to the clinic. I was tested positive. Not pregnancy, but COVID. Though my symptom was mild, but my ART showed positive for 10 days. So coincident, on the day my ART showed negative, Helen, my childhood friend, asked me if I would like to travel to Bali. I was excited. I quickly called my husband. Darling, can I travel to Bali with Yanti and Helen? Yeah, why not? You have COVID recovered. You are immune now. I quickly searched for ticket on the internet and book it all within half an hour. And also did a quick search on Indonesia entry requirement. At that time, require pre-departure and on-arrival PCR. 5 days before my trip, Indonesia new requirement for those COVID recovered only need to do on-arrival PCR. I was overjoyed as PCR in Indonesia only costs 275,000 rupiah, which is about 26 Sing dollar. In my 18 years career in AIA, I am known as a call girl. I only go appointment when my client call me. 1 week before my trip, one of my clients called me to do a retirement planning. He has 100,000 budget. I closed him on retirement saver single premium 100,000. I was excited. I'm delighted. I thank God for his blessing. Even God gave me permission to travel. All went well. The trip was full of fun, laughter, good food. I had a good catch up with my childhood friend. It was an enjoyable trip. My first trip after COVID. All stars were aligned. First, I was infected with COVID. Second, I was invited to travel on the day I recovered. Third, just before the trip, I closed 100,000 single premium retirement saver. Just nice for my allowance. Thank God I got COVID. It is a blessing after all. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Lenly. Now I wish I got COVID and can travel soon. All right, let's welcome our second speaker. She's doing a project Dynamic Leadership Level 2, Project 3, Understanding Your Communication Style. Shall we invite her evaluator, Eileen, to share with us the project objective, please?
The purpose of this project is for the members to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of her speech is for a member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Maria.
As the speech length is the same as our previous speaker, so the timing sequence apply as well. Now, let us welcome Dynamic Leadership Level 1, Maria. Maria loves music and loves to sing zealously. She's a loving mom who loves to be with family. She joined Toastmaster as her children always laugh at her broken English. Maria, the teacher is my hero. The teacher is my hero, Maria.
Good afternoon, Club President, Toastmaster of the Day, and the fellow Toastmaster. The title of my speech is My Teacher is My Hero. Have you ever watched Avengers? Or Marvel? Or maybe a Superman, Batman, a Wonder Woman? Do you really like them? Do you ever think how but wonderful and safe the world would be if they were real? They would defend the university from evil and danger. Unfortunately, they are not real, because the real heroes do not dress like the superhero. Well, they might have red underwear, but will not use the underwear outside of their clothes. Real heroes cannot fly, cannot do magic, but they have a genuine heart. Can you help me to type, who do you think are your heroes is? Please, thank you. Let me see in the chat group. Who do you mentor, who do you hero is? Anyone will help me? Spider-Man, Spider-Man. My mother, mentor and mom. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, my mom, Batman. Yeah. Well, for me, beside my parents, my hero is my secondary teacher. Teacher Stephanus is not ordinary teacher. He was a favorite teacher known among students for his kind-hearted and gentle personality. When he entered the room, everyone absorbed when he taught us in the twinkle of his eyes. And it is very different from other classes. What makes him so unique? He teaches with love and care. He treats everyone equally. In fact, he will treat the naughty one nicely and sometimes take them out and buy them ice cream. And sometimes he will provide extra lesson for those left behind in understanding. He loves to give guidance about life through stories and illustration. Oh, when he tells stories, everybody will just open and listen to his story. He's a very good communicator. And we discuss many issues among the young who could not be discussed with parents, as it's considered a taboo at that day. Never do we realize it become our stuff and road in our future, which leads us to decision making in life as a teenager. There was an incident where one of my classmates were missing in class for 3 days with no news from his parents. Those days the phone was rare. So we asked some of the students to go, he asked some students to go with him to our classmate's house. Then he learned about how my friend's parents were in financially difficulties. Immediately, Teacher Stephanus went to ask help. Little did I know what the Teacher Stephanus has done. But my friend came back to class and were thankful to him for helping him and the family. In a conclusion, he is a teacher who go to the extra mile so that students can go the extra mile as well, making an impact that lasts long after the classroom. A few years back, I met him again. We had lunch together with his friend and had a wonderful flashback conversation. Then it started come a silly question. And I asked him, "Teacher, why do you care so much to your students? I mean, you can just teach and leave and then have your me time." And he started sharing. And his reply was life-changing. He said, "I and my sister were orphaned. We both live in our parents' house, do everything for ourselves. We were lucky," he said. "We were supported financially by our uncle, but we do not have enough guidance, no conversation, no warmness in the house. As a teenager, I and my sister made many wrong choices, and I do not know much in life." He pauses for a little while, and I could feel the emotion through his eyes. My tears almost rolled down. I could imagine if I were in his position, what I'm supposed to do. No parents. Thank God he still have uncle that supported financially. How if he doesn't have very kind-hearted uncle? So he said, "I determined myself to be a better person. As that, my thankful to my uncle. I read a lot of books that help me grow and networking so many adults. So I know what to do in life. Therefore, when I become a teacher, I was determined to be a teacher that gives remarks throughout my guidance in life, so that every student in my class will make better choices in their life." And he continued, "Knowledge without character is meaningless." I was stunned with the wisdom he has. It's the best thing since sliced bread. I came home with the determination that if he can impact students' life and become our hero, we should do the same to our children. Back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And the last speaker for today, she's doing motivational strategy level 4, project 1, motivate others. Shall we invite Terence, her evaluator, to share with us the project objective, please?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Day. Kiki, your project objective is, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to motivate team members through the completion of a project. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of her experience motivating team members through the completion of the project. Time 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Terence. Our next speaker is a well-traveled and multilingual wealth manager who thrives in diversity and multicultural experiences. Empowered and driven, she is persistent in her pursuit of positively impacting more lives with an array of protection solutions and through public speaking. Motivational Strategy Level 3, Kiki Tai. She's going to talk to us about react or value add. React or value add, Kiki Tai.
Good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, react or value add. You know, I've always been a fast and furious person, full with zeal and passion every single day. Initially, when I first joined the business, I was so passionate about how life insurance, how medical insurance could change the world, change life one at a time. So every day I come to work, I'm very excited, very zealous to talk about any topics from my book, from my iPad. And then slowly I react to every call that I receive. In the morning, I could receive a call and say, I need to do a review of my plans. I'm not happy about it. In the afternoon, I could receive a call about, I'm on my way to the hospital. Would you like, what should I do? Can claim or not? Can claim or not? And then towards the end of the day, I could receive a call from a client who I had done multiple times of proposal and still undecided. After every call, I have my emotional moments that I always wanted to react to them, and I always did. And the result of that, I always ended my day so exhausted. And I tried, and I always feel I was losing control of my day in and day out. Until one of my clients actually sat down with me and she told me a quote in Chinese. She said, 不要为了发生而反应，要为了结果而付出。不要为了发生而反应，要为了结果而付出, which translates to do not react to what happened, but think of the outcome that you desire and value add to it. I thought that was very wise because at the end of the day, we can't control whether it's rain or shine. There are people who, get gloomy and depressed when it rains, but we have no control over whether tomorrow it's going to rain or shine, a bright day. And we have no control of the traffic. There could be a jam right next second, but I have no control over it. Do I react to it or do I work around it with the zealous attitude? And we can't control if we are doing calls to our clients. We have no control to how their day went, whether they're experiencing COVID symptoms or whether they're going through some family issues. So they might react in certain ways that we have totally no control. But what we have in control is our response, how we could value add to the situation. Case in point, I was in Kuala Lumpur last week. While I was enjoying my breakfast with my husband and a few friends that we have not met for 2 years, I got this multiple calls from this couple. They are my existing clients, and they have been lovely. We just didn't get to meet up for a few years. They've been calling me, the husband has been calling me, WhatsApp called me, Norma called me, and my phone was buzzing away. And I was like, is it a life or death situation? Like you guys are giving me more than 8, almost 10 missed calls from multiple, like 2 of them back and forth. And I was in the middle of my breakfast. I felt like I need a quality of life. And the emotions that, evoke from the calls were like, I'm not going to pick up your call. I'm just going to get back to you after I finish my breakfast. I had like so many thoughts in my head, but I just put it aside, enjoy my breakfast. And then I text them back after half an hour. You know what happened? They're a family of 4, so there's husband, wife, and 2 kids. The husband is the only one working in the air conditioning servicing industry. And the wife, I didn't know that she lost her job during COVID. So when they receive their health insurance renewal for the 4 people in the household, it amounted to almost $3,000, just the cash portion. So they had a huge reaction to it. And to me, I was like, does this render like 10 missed calls when you know that I'm overseas? Really? That was my first reaction in my head. But then I sat down and I thought through it. What's my desired outcome? I wanted my clients to be happy, understand the product, and appreciate what I've done for them. So I quickly text them back and say, why don't we schedule a Zoom call? I'll walk through the benefits of the plan, and you get to decide whether you want to stay on this Max A plan with rider, or there are a few options that will save you some money with different features. So with a few texts sent, we scheduled a meeting just in the afternoon that day. And during that Zoom, it was still very fast and furious from the other side. So I went through all the benefits and options and how much they could save with peace and laugh about it. And they actually really appreciate that. And I actually tried to recruit the wife since she lost her job during COVID. I was like, if you could do this, and when people actually utilize their plans, they'll really be so thankful of you. And you can save money for them if they're paying without knowing what they're paying for. So at the end of the day, they were happy and they changed to plan B, and they really appreciated what I've done for them. But the first question when I tried to recruit her first question is, do you get scolded every day? I'm like, not really. It's just how you manage people's expectations. And it's an education process for many people who are not in the line of insurance to better understand products. So really, stress and unhappiness not come from the situation. They're not the product of the situation. It's what we make it to be. So really think about it, take control of the situation. So choose that when next conflict comes up, do you react, or you think about the outcome and value add to it? Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Vivian.
Thank you, Kiki. React or value add. I hope all of us here will always choose value add. Yeah. So for now, can we invite our timer, Kevin, to share with us the timer reports? Kevin, I think you are muted. No.
Sorry. Yep. Landing 6 minutes 25 seconds. Maria 6 minutes 48 seconds. Kiki 7 minutes 21 seconds. All qualified.
Is our poll ready? Shall we? Okay.
Poll is open. Can you view it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm receiving the poll now. I think.
You mean receiving the results, right? Because you gave us the poll.
Yeah, I'm receiving the poll results now. All right, we will. Okay, I have 10. Okay, 5 more seconds and I'll close the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Thank you. Please proceed.
That is fast and furious. Today we are very on time. So let's do a photo taking and we'll go into a 5 minutes break. Can we invite
All
our
right, I
photo
will take the photo. Everybody turn on your video, please. Kelly is my guest this afternoon. She's my PA.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
to have
Amos,
you.
would you like to turn on your camera? We have a very cozy group today. On the count of 3, 2, 1. Okay, we will take the photo shortly. Okay, everybody, look in the camera and smile. 1, 2, 3. First shot. Okay, let's do a fun shot. Okay, now Amos is back. All right, great. Okay, now we do one more. Okay, everybody, say hi. 1, 2, smile. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, everybody. We can move on to the next segment.
Break time.
Break time. We will
We'll be
break
back
for
at
5
what time?
minutes. And we'll be back at 12:48.
48.
All right.
Thank you. See you later at 12:48. Can you hear the music? Okay, fabulous.
Yes, we can hear the music.
Hello. Okay, let's wait for Margaret for a while. Okay. Next comes the most exciting section. I'm going to pass the time to our table topic master, Sandra, presentation mastery level 1. So Sandra actually has a message for all of us here. She already took out all the roles in Toastmaster meeting, and she makes sure that even though she's not speaking, she's doing an interesting role today. Hopefully everybody is going to volunteer themselves zealously, and let's start. Over to you, Sandra.
Thank you, Vivian. All right, let me do a share screen first. Okay, a very good afternoon to all fellow Toastmasters. So this segment is always the most exciting and zealous segment of the meeting, which is the table topic sections. And the main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills, to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. And table topic is also specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. It is also the time that we want to give every member the opportunity to speak at the meeting. Now, this is how your response will be in terms of the timing. At 1 minute, the timer will turn green, and at 1 minute 30 seconds, yellow, 2 minutes, red, 2 minute 30 seconds, time out. All right, I would like to encourage every one of you to use word of the day, zeal or zealous. And today I'll be asking questions related to our meeting theme, and that is RISE. As what our club president has mentioned earlier on, the 4 core values of Toastmasters International are integrity, dedication to excellence, service to the member, and respect for the individual. Now, these values are worthy. Just a minute, it's blocking my view. These values are worthy of a great organization, and we believe we should incorporate them as anchor points in every decision we make. Our core values provide us with a means of not only guiding, but also evaluating our operations, our planning, and our vision for the future. So when this team is posted, right, and we had one of our member, Gerald, commented zealously about this core values, and I thought it's very appropriate, as well as what the club president has mentioned earlier on. So without further ado, let's start a discussion on all these values. Who would like to go first? Any volunteer? And you can choose from 5 different slides here. Do I have a volunteer?
Our volunteer with zeal.
That's great. Sorry, I can't see who's that?
Eileen.
Oh, Eileen. Okay, sorry, because I share screen, so I can't see all
It's
of
okay.
y'all.
I thought you would have recognized
Okay.
my voice.
Yeah, my mistake. Your lovely voice. How can I miss it? Okay, so which one would you like to go for?
Service.
Core, integrity, service. Great. Service. All right. So what is service? Let's take a look. Mother Teresa quoted, "Love cannot remain by itself. It has no meaning. Love has to be put into action, and that action is service." Do you agree? Start when you're ready.
Definitely, I will agree with this statement, whereby love cannot remain by itself. Love by itself is not love anymore. Love has to be shared. Love has to be from our heart to be shared with people around us, not only our family members, our colleagues, our friends, people that we care for. In the statement, they mentioned love has to be put into action. So how do we actually show love to people that we care? It can be just a very simple, how are you today? Or dropping your friend a message, how have you been? Or your friends who have actually recovered from COVID, how are you coping? So all these are all actions of love. And the action itself is service. So in this statement, service means service to humankind, service to people around us. So by loving people, we are actually, doing other people a favor to make them realize that there's actually warmth on this earth. So with that, I will end my table topic. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Elaine. Yes, totally agree. Love has to be put into action, and that is service. All right, so who's the next volunteer? Do we have a next volunteer?
Okay, I'll do it. Terence here. You can tell by this sexy voice.
Yes, absolutely. Terence, which one would you like to go for?
What do you have?
We have call, integrity, respect, excellence.
Why don't you pick one for me?
I pick one for you?
Yes, anyone.
All right. Okay, let's have this for you, respect. Respect is earned, not given. Do you agree?
Very good afternoon, everyone. This one sounds like something I say all the time. Think about it this way. If you look at history, every right that's been given, whether it's the woman's right to vote, whether it's the right of emancipation of slaves, whether it's the right of racial and religious equality, it was never ever given. People had to stand up for it and people had to fight for it. And that is respect on a general scale, the respect of gender, the respect of choices, the respect of people because they are different, but treating them as one of us. In the same way, we cannot go through life expecting people to respect us. If someone obeys you because of your position, that is not respect. That is hierarchy and authority. Respect is something that you demand for yourself. And this can be done in two ways. Either you are assertive or you are such a person that others speak up for you. The thing is that most of us are not Jesus Christ. I am possibly the least of the lot. So we have to be assertive. We must demand our respect. We must seek our place in the sun. We must seize our opportunities. Respect doesn't mean being liked. It's not the same. People can like you and still not respect you. They think that you're entertainment or a joker. Rather, people respect you when they need your opinion on matters or when they fear your opinion on other matters. So how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you complete the things that you set out to do, that is you. As it is said, our character is determined by what we do, not so much what we say. And that's why we're here, to say and to do. Over to you.
Thank you, Terence, for sharing your view on this. Do we have the next volunteer? Amos, would you like to give it a try?
Okay, I'll go for it.
Great. We are live with call, integrity, excellence.
Let's try integrity.
Integrity. All right. What does integrity mean to you in areas of work, personal life, or as a member of Toastmaster?
Integrity to me means to be honest, especially in our line of work as a consultant, as a financial consultant. It's to give the trust to before we can build trust, we must have the integrity in ourselves to let the clients, let our family members know what are the things that we are able to do for them. And as a person, if a person doesn't have integrity, it's very hard for them to, I personally find that it's very hard for them to move forward with life if all you're gonna do is hide some facts or hide hide secrets. You're not really truthful with yourself, and it does put your work life, your personal life, and everything else in jeopardy. Yeah, I think that's all. Back to you, topic master.
Thank you, Amos. Thanks for giving it a go. We are encouraged. All right. I'm trying to be more cautious in terms of time. Do we have time for one more? I think we have.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So now we are left with two more topics to talk. Do we have the next volunteer? Our guest, Kelly, would you like to give it a try? Yeah.
Kelly or Gordon. Okay. Kelly, you want to have a try?
No.
Kelly's a bit shy.
Ready. Yeah, I'm not ready.
Okay, no problem.
I'm doing R counter, so if I count, I can't.
It's okay lah. We can count your R's for you. Give it a try, Gordon.
Okay, sure, why not? Okay, excellence.
Excellence. Okay. As a financial service consultant, how do you define service excellence?
By service excellence, I felt is a holistic term. It is not just provision of a tunnel vision service, zeroing at what is in there for me. It is more than that. You have your own experience outside the horizon. You can share, help, and contribute to one's well-being. Okay, so to me, excellent is giving off your best. Now, that does not mean you try to impress, because whatever you said, you need to back up with what you have to do. So to me, I think doing your best or giving your best effort is considered service excellence, right? We are not restricted to ourselves. Like in the case of TMC, we have so many colleagues who are way ahead of us. If you can't get the answer, go the extra mile, check with our colleagues, find out, and then focus, and then put it in the right manner and present it back to a client who may need that information. So it is not just zeroing on closing a deal. It is also keeping in touch, providing additional service that can contribute to his or her life and career. Maybe giving a time, during a time of grievance, during a time of celebration, during a time of happiness, like a childbirth. I think we can join in our own simple way. We don't have to be elaborate. We don't have to show that we are smart. It is not what you know, it's what is inside you. That to me is service excellence. Client will get to know it, sense it, and discern at the end of the day. Back to you, table topic master of the day.
Thank you, Gordon. Thanks to all the participants for your zealous participation. And can we have the timing for the 4 participants?
Yes, Eileen, 1 minute, 12 seconds. Terence, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Amos, 1 minute, 26 seconds. Gordon, 2 minutes, 06 seconds, all qualified.
All right, all qualified. Is the poll ready?
No, sorry, I didn't prepare the poll for the table topics. Can you text me? Can you PM me your choice of the best topics?
Do we do it individually?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So everybody please PM Margaret. Secretly, or openly also can. All right. So the next session, we're going to do the result later. For the next session is what I personally think is the most important session, is our project evaluation segment. I always believe that it's through evaluations that we learn and rise together. So for our first evaluators, she's going to evaluate Lanley's speech. The timing for this segment is 2 to 3 minutes. At the second minute, you see a green light. At second and a half, you see yellow light. And at the third minute, you see the red light. Let's welcome our first evaluators, Persuasive Influence Level 4, Francis.
Thank you, Vivian. I can't seem to pin the timer, but anyway, it's okay. Right. Thank you, where's Lanley? A very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and especially to Lanley. Let me find Lanley. Where are you? Okay. Thank you for that zealous and humorous speech. A great way to start the meeting and a great way to start the day. You started the speech with a question. Do you sometimes hope you have COVID? That was really a good question because it set me thinking if I wish to have COVID and get it over with. Your question also creates that interest towards your speech. You also you also bring in props like your passport, which also create that interest. Overall, your whole speech was delivered in a very comfortable pace. Throughout the whole speech, you have used the appropriate body language and vocal variety. I particularly like the part about your conversation with your husband. You change sides to differentiate between you and your husband. Very well done there. Just at this point, I'd like to recommend some small area of improvement to your speech. The part about the conversation between your husband and yourself. It would be perfect if you could adjust the tone and the pitch to further differentiate the two characters. For example, when it comes to your husband speaking, then you may like to use a lower tone, or for yourself, a higher pitch. Also, the part when you say, when you tell a secret, you may like to do it like a whisper. And okay, overall, in terms of your time, the time used, you used 6.5 minutes for that whole speech. Comfortable, but I was hoping for a slightly longer one because it was so entertaining and humorous. Overall, it was a well organized speech with appropriate pace, pitch, and volume. And your purpose statement is well met. Well done. Thank you, Lenly.
Thank you, Francis. Our next evaluators, she's going to evaluate Maria's speech. Let's put our hand together for Eileen.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Maria has a very calm and soothing voice. I'm sure all of us will actually agree with me. She actually reminds me of a very patient teacher that I had, which is very apt with her speech, because her speech is sharing about how her teacher is her hero. Points that I feel that she did very well in is she started her speech asking questions to the extent of engaging the audience to type into the chat group who is a hero in our life. So for this, I'll give it a thumbs up. And Maria also drew comparison between real life heroes to the heroes that we see on movie set, like Avengers, giving vivid description and to the smallest detail of even the underwear that they wear. So for this, I feel it's very well done in this aspect. Overall, her speech is very, very comfortably paced. I do not feel that I'm rushed listening to her speech. She do have appropriate pauses, okay, which actually, make me think about what she has spoken. It is a very structured speech, okay, whereby she gave a pointer. For example, she mentioned how is her teacher being unique, and she gave example of how the teacher actually went to extra miles to actually find out why this particular classmate is not in class. However, I will recommend areas of improvement whereby she can make her speech even more perfect, because I was actually hearing out for her own real life experience with her teacher. But what I heard in her speech is actually more of her classmate, not so much of herself. Maria did share about how she met up with her teacher a few years after, recently. So it will be good if you can share like your exchange of conversation with your teacher and recount back your experiences, your teacher when you were younger, and incorporate that into your speech. That will be a challenge that you can challenge yourself. Okay, and I will actually because the purpose statement is for you to share your experience as a protege. So it will be really good if you can inject more examples of that. Okay, to bring out the point why your teacher is a hero of you. Okay, all in all, it's a very comfortable, very soothing speech to listen to. Okay, and with that, thank you, Maria, for the very fantastic speech.
Thank you, Eileen. Our last evaluators, she's going to evaluate Kiki's speech. Please put our hand together for our distinguished Toastmaster, Terence Nuris.
Thank you very much, Vivian. A very good afternoon, everybody, especially to you, Kiki. Give me a moment while I find the timer. He's hiding somewhere. Yes, I found him under the bed. Anyway, let's talk about your speech. Now, Kiki, you put together a compelling narrative of your journey from zeal to fatigue and how you dealt with it. We can empathize with that because we've all been through that, some of us many, many times. It's about trying to serve and yet not losing yourself. And you did share with us how you did that piece of service recovery, which is very useful to a lot of people, especially the newer financial consultants. And somewhere in all that, there is a story that needs to be told. It's a great speech in itself. Unfortunately, it is the right speech for the wrong objective. You have to consider the speech objective is about a specific project. which could be an event, a business goal, a family goal, something in which we work together as a team and you demonstrated leadership. Now, the reason we emphasize this is because we have to understand that what we learn in Toastmasters is also what we apply in the real world. Those values, that airtime is precious. So consider this, the next time we need to see someone, anyone, in any circumstance, we need to consider the context. We need to look at the considerations and the issues to be addressed and speak accordingly so that whatever you say matters to them. Because the thing about a speech, no matter how great it is, it's not what we say, it's what they hear. It's what they seek, it's what they need to know. That is what a speech is about. The irony about speaking, public speaking especially, is that we start this journey thinking it's about ourselves, sharing pieces of us. And we realize towards the end of it, and you are somewhere in the middle, reaching the more advanced parts of it, you realize that the journey of public speaking is actually not about us. It's about us channeling the people around us and walking their journeys, giving voice to the voiceless. In the same way that when you meet your clients and you speak to them, you are actually talking about their fears, their challenges in a way that they understand that you feel it as well, so that you're genuine. So our speeches should be genuine because ultimately we are addressing the other. We are addressing the other in such a way that they feel that we are them and they're sitting on the same side of the table. And when you can do that, even with one person or 1,000 persons, that is a successful speech. And with that, over to you, Toastmaster Ready.
Thank you, Terence. Can I invite the timer to share with us the timing reports?
Francis, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Eileen, 3 minutes, 07 seconds. Terence, 3 minutes, 02 seconds. All qualified.
Okay, is the poll ready?
Okay, the polls are coming in. I will close it in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For the co-host, you can PM me directly as well. Thank you. I'll close the poll now.
Thank you, Margaret. We can all tell that she is very excited for the next section. All right.
What would that be, I wonder?
I love No Fuss, No Frills because there's this special section where we have invited our distinguished speakers to talk on certain workshop. So for today, the workshop title is going to be Go Beyond Club, Grow Beyond Greatness. We have our distinguished speaker, Margaret Low, Strategic Relationship Level 5, Persuasive Influence Level 1. She's also Division G Director and the past President of AIA Toastmaster Club. Her Toastmaster journey has seen 3 learning curves, from being and serving in the Exco to being an area director, and finally, as Division Director. We all start at the same place, but how far we go depends on how determined we are to apply what we learned. Margaret is here to share the one skill that has helped her to connect with her clients in the last 27 years. Margaret, go beyond club, grow beyond greatness.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good afternoon, Club President, District Officers, past District Officers, as well as my beloved Toastmaster comrade. Thank you for having me. Now, it's a very cozy session. It's a very intimate group of people that I know and love dearly. So I want to make this, I want to make this session very informal. You're free to type in your questions if you have any, or if you feel very zealous about what you have in mind, feel free to unmute yourself. All right, I am unable to view you. Why is that? Because I'm sharing screen. Okay, my road on the Toastmasters journey, I would consider this a road trip. The road trip on my Toastmasters journey, my Toastmasters highway, started in 2014 up till now and still going strong. Now, today's segment is essentially for me to share my journey with you and some of the lessons. Some may be applicable in the professional front. Others would be more on the reflections and the self-development front. See, this is the time that I spent in Toastmasters and some of the areas of service that I've rendered during this time. It was almost from the get-go in 2014, thanks to my dear mentor at that time, Linda Lee, who recruited me and then straight away plunged me into the cold waters of the Exco. And since then, I've been serving pretty much on an annual regular basis. And these are some of my career milestones. I've been with AIA for the last 27 years, but I'll just share with you some of the milestones from the time I started my Toastmasters journey. Okay, but in the last 1 year, I've seen an exponential growth in my business. A lot of it through skills and experiences accumulated over the span of my journey, but intensified with the experiences I had in AIA Toastmasters Club, as well as beyond the club itself. As you can see, COVID has allowed me to blossom somewhat, especially around the middle. Now, what are the lessons that I learned on the road? I call this a road trip because it's a journey, and it was done over several years. So I assure you, my beloved Toastmasters, it is not something that you acquire overnight by 1 term or maybe 2 terms, but it's a journey. And how long it takes really depends on how zealous you are in your quest for knowledge and skills. A lot of it is through doing, through your participation. And one of the things that our fellow Toastmasters has asked me to share on are how all these skills applied to the professional front in our work. Now, may I have a show of hands? How do you prepare for your sale? Can you unmute yourself because I can't see you? Can you share with me, how do you prepare your sale? I would say prepare your sale rather than prepare your appointment.
Depends on the client. I do a background check.
My goodness. All right, that's Terence for you. Anything else? Anyone else?
I will visualize that I'm closing the case.
All right. Okay. How do you do that?
How do I do that? Visualize.
Just sign the last part. Is it the last screenshot whereby
no,
you
no, no.
see
I
yourself signing
visualize.
the iPod, is it?
No, I visualize the point when I step into the house, for example, what I say, what the client will say, and how I close, what's my presentation, etc.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for your feedback. Now, visualization is something that a lot of gurus have recommended, but how about we do something more concrete? Do you know what you want to talk to your client about before the appointment, before even arriving on the day of the appointment at your venue? Do you know what you're going to talk about? Yes, no, you can type on the chat. Now, does your client know what you are going to talk about? More importantly, yes, how would they know? You prepare objections. Why do you prepare objections? You want a sale, right? How about you tell your client what you're going to say by sending them ahead an agenda. An agenda is essentially just the key points, the areas that you will dive straight into after the pleasantries. Oh, how are you? Did you get COVID? Oh, I feel so sorry for you. You cannot fly. Wasted. Go and get positive. An agenda. Are you going to talk about a review? Are you going to talk specifically about the conversation you had before, about retirement planning, about sharing our partnership with Singlife, the long-term care plan? Send the agenda ahead so that they know exactly what you want to talk about and they can prepare themselves for it. Should you require some information from your client, like you want them to check what the balance is in their ordinary account, or whether they have taken on an ElderShield enhancement in the past. These are things that you want to know so that you can prepare yourself ahead of your appointment. Hence, when the client is prepared to see you, given this agenda, you know that your deal is sealed. Then, next, you call for action. Now, during the appointment and even at the end of the appointment, you ask for the sale. Post-meeting, are you usually able to close at the first meeting, or do you need to go back? So these are the preparations that you do before and during. In the course of the meeting, you have certain objectives. And what would those objectives be? How do you channel your client to those objectives? Do you have the questions that you want to ask ahead of time? What are the answers you can anticipate? And with that, if there are any objections, certainly you can think about how to answer those objections. These are the preparations before you even go for the sale. And during the meeting, you put all this into play. At the end of the meeting, you will want something back from the client, and the client will probably be expecting you to come back with a proposal. How do you get the client to act on it rather than, okay, when you call next week, oh, I'll think about it. I would send post the meeting, what are the things that we discuss? What is the information, or rather, what are the action that I need from the client? Such as if he's supposed to give me information that he didn't get before the sale, before our first appointment, what are the things that you need from him? And what are the things that your client can expect from you? For example, you have a proposal and a tentative date that you will be meeting to revisit the same conversation. Your second appointment, which is the one that you will close your sale on. Okay, with these post-meeting minutes, you can then go back to him on the designated date to confirm the date that you're supposed to meet him. And that will be the date you know, your client knows he will be signing. That is in the preparation of the sale. Now, the second lesson from the road. Some of our fellow Toastmasters here will recall this is in fact a project on the communicator, what was that? CC. What was that communicator? Competent Communicator Manual. Yes, that's a project 3. General purpose and specific purpose. The general purpose of meeting your client is to touch base, to review, to perhaps siphon in what are the key things that will cause a concern for him. But if you had that earlier conversation, it could be 6 months, it could be a year before, then for this particular meeting, what exactly do you want out of this meeting? Is it to zoom in on the retirement income planning? Is it to zoom in on his coverage, or to talk about, to explore new things? What is that purpose that you have in mind? Usually we have a lot of things that we want to talk about. You look at his profile, you look at his portfolio, oh, the wife doesn't have this, the children doesn't have that. Can we do something all together? It's very ambitious, but very often when we try and cram too many things in one appointment, we end up not getting anything at the end of it because there are too many things for the client to think about. So think through what you want to do. On the appointment itself, I will go through an overview of our earlier discussion, check whether there are any changes to the earlier priorities that he laid out. Perhaps back then he was thinking of coverage, but now he feels that, hey, you know, the market is at this point in time, he can start investing to grow his money for his retirement or children's education. Find out, have your hand on the pulse, find out what concerns him now and today. You stay focused on that one specific purpose. If it's retirement that he wants to talk about, then just zoom in on the retirement. Never mind if he's going to die in an accident tomorrow and not get anything out of it, because that is your objective. You can come back again another day for the other things that are lacking. So this you can do at the end of the meeting and say, you know, by the way, I realized that your PA was an old plan, it's about 50,000, no TCM. Maybe we can explore this the next time we come. Okay, so you secure another appointment down the road. Okay, so far, are we good? I can only see the chat group, so if you have a remark, please send it to me. Now, what's the other thing that we talked about? Lesson number 3. We shared about table topics, and in AIA, all our members here are very well trained in their table topics. It's almost from the time you release it from the topic master's mouth, you instantly have an answer. In the real life situation, is that necessarily the best reaction that you can give? Look, ladies and gentlemen, you want to be real, you want to be genuine when you're in front of your client. They don't know you are perfect Toastmasters. They may not expect an answer from you too instantly. So let not your zeal put your foot in your mouth. I would say be more human. Look thoughtful. If your client tells you, you know, my business has suffered because of COVID. I've lost a lot of staff and my business is down by 50%. Do you press on to tell your client, hey, you know, the market is very good now, you know, you should dive in with all your savings and your company earnings? Does it make sense to you? Would you do the same thing if you were in his position? In most cases, we would not. So be empathetic, look thoughtful, think about what he just said to you, and look into his eyes and see, is this a genuine concern? If it is, then you can approach in another way. You can take your time to reply. There's no need to jump into it instantly. And in most cases, I would deliberate a little bit. I'll contemplate a little bit as if I am thinking very hard. And this is the time to also hold your pauses. Take some time to reply so that the client knows that you are genuine about what you say. And it's not something that's already prepared. It's canned. Maybe 10 of your clients say the same thing, but you don't want to seem like you are so well rehearsed. This is the time you don't want to be rehearsed. And match your words with your facial expressions. In your enthusiasm to share how good the market is to take a position now or to invest in our elite funds, you know your poor client probably also lost 30% of his portfolio, his investment portfolio during this time. So be sensitive to his losses, the pain of those, even though it's unrealized, but it is painful to see the value of your assets go down 20, 30%. or even more. So tread carefully. And with that understanding, also show a sad face. Don't look so happy that you're trying to share your elite funds because the prices have gone down, but you are unable to understand his pain because he invested much, much earlier. So ensure that words match your facial expressions. This is part of what as an evaluator you would do. You want to observe the speaker. Is he able to express himself through facial expressions, through gestures? Now, these are things that you also look out when you are speaking with your clients, their facial expressions, their gestures. And finally, if you don't have an answer, ask a question. That will throw the ball back to the client, and he in turn has to think. I shall move on to the last lesson. See this photo? Nice or not? The pregnant pause and the poignant touch. What is the pregnant pause? Our esteemed language evaluator, Gerald, is always talking about the pregnant pause. Pause after you ask a question. Pause after you've made a statement in your speech. Why is a pause so important? It is for your message to sink in by your listener. And the poignant touch. If it's something that will make an impact, maybe there's also an emotional tie to it. Maybe there's an amount of sadness to it. If your client tells me, I don't need life insurance, when my children grow up, they just need to make sure they are good enough to get a scholarship. Otherwise, they don't deserve to be in a university. Have you heard that one? I have. Is it painful for a parent to hear that? Some parents believe in tough love. Some will want to provide until kingdom comes. But you can then ask your client, if you're not around to provide and your child just managed to get a place in a university, but not good enough grades to get a scholarship, are you going to take away that chance in their life for them to make good with a university degree? And you pause. And very often, when you ask a question, what do? You stare at the client in the face. That's going to be very awkward, right? If you have a drink in your hand, now's the time to take a sip before it gets cold. So one of the things I enjoy doing while I'm doing my interviews, if not at the home, will be at a cafe, at a restaurant. This is a time for you to take a sip. It's also a time for you to take a bite before the food gets cold, so that you can move the conversation along without staring too intently into the client, but the client needs to think about a reply to you. And you wait. You wait. I was always taught that, people say, oh, you know what, Vivian, you look so good and you can talk so well. I'm sure you do great in your sales. But friends, is it really the case? Is it about speaking? Of course, we need to speak. But is it really about just being able to be fluent with your words, eloquent? I would say it is still about your listening skills. And in Toastmasters, we emphasize no more less to speaking than your active listening skills. So this is a time for you to listen a little. You may not always have the right answer all the time, but it's a time for you maybe empathize a little. The client has been complaining because he cannot get through your call center over some matters. You say, yeah, it's terrible. Because of COVID, all our lines are jammed. I shall feedback. I'll send the feedback to our call center. Agree with them. Yeah, it's terrible. The business has been bad. It's affected a lot of my clients. But you know what? Some of their savings or some of the assets have come down. Would you like to consider cutting loss now and transfer it to our PRE? Because it's got a track record of 15%. The upside is definitely much, much higher than continuing at this counter. And this is something I did say. The client was, after a very long, painful decision, decided to cut loss and then transfer part of a portfolio over to PRE. PRE and the Dynamic Income Fund. So it's okay to whine a little, to pout a little, to sigh a little, just to let the client know that you are human. And finally, you know your client best. These are lessons that I've learned and able to apply because I understand my client and we have a good relationship. Ensure that these tactics don't backfire. In summary, all right. Haven't gone to the summary yet. Okay, some of you will ask, why is it that I take on so many portfolios? In the initial stage, I was very curious about what the role entails, curious about my ability to take on this position and how I would grow from there. So curiosity was the initial fire that fueled my participation in Toastmasters. They say curiosity kills the cat. Cat has 9 lives. I'm still here. What about you? Now, then this road of recovery brought me to another level. And that was, after taking on those roles, more opportunities opened up. From VPM to VPE, and I took on and deliberated the club president's position for a very long time. I took it on with trepidation, a bit unknown, a bit unsure. But I thought to myself, if not now, then when? If not me, then who? It's not a self-sacrifice, but it's an opportunity that presented itself because I took that step. You need to be able to, in order to see further, you need to be at the top of the flight of the steps. So at very strategic points on my Toastmasters journey, I was on top of a certain flight of steps. With that, I was able to look further and higher. So these were the opportunities that presented to me, hence the area director role, and then finally the division director role. But of course, I have to say that I didn't come all the way here on my own. It was through the nudging and in some cases, the shoving and the pushing of some very good friends of mine, many of them in this room. So opportunity presented itself. And then finally, at the end of the day, I was able to render a service, one of the core values of Toastmasters, and as an individual, find fulfillment in this journey. So despite whatever time it demanded from me, all the weekend burn for the last half a year, the last term, for the last 2 years, weekdays, weeknights, those were taken from me. But what I got back was this sense of fulfillment, and the skill sets, the friends that I made stayed with me. And finally, the Zenith vision. Over here with the Division G Council supporting me, we were able to showcase a full calendar year of activities for the benefit of the members, for their self-development, as well as to build the clubs that they are in. So this brought another sense of fulfillment to me, and I hope also to the council that I was leading. The tagline for Division G is the revival of the mind, body, and soul. We are very driven on a day-to-day basis already with all our work activities, the demands from home, demands from the agency. So I had hoped that Toastmasters can be a place for us to be rejuvenated. At least it is the case for me. So I will still stress that you need to be able to derive joy from all these activities. Let no one tell you otherwise. In summary, the lessons from the road that I learned were being prepared for the sale, have a general purpose and a specific purpose in mind before you even embark on that appointment with your client. Because as we know, you get one chance to see the client, you get maybe 30 minutes to an hour, 2 hours tops to have this in-depth discussion with them. Make good use of that, and then make sure you come back with something. The perfect table topic, you need not have the perfect table topic. Well, be human and let people know that you are human also. And finally, be bold enough to exercise that pregnant pause. Don't be too hasty to speak after you ask a question, and have that poignant touch in your presentation. These are some of the valuable memories that I've had in the course of my Toastmasters journey. I've had fun together. I celebrate friendships. We're able to have some calm before the storm. This is usually at a contest or at a very high-profile event. And during this time, many opportunities presented itself. I had an opportunity to do some workshops within AIA as well as outside. I had an opportunity to connect with clubs and with Toastmasters in a different setting, in a different community. We have celebrated victories and also fulfillment by stretching, juggling 2 portfolios the year before as the area director, as well as the admin manager for Division G. And also an opportunity to bond so that we all just enjoy each other's company. So these are special memories. Cherish those moments. I do, at least. A final word. 5 years from today, you will be the same person you are today, if not for the books that you read and the people that you meet. Choose them wisely. I don't read enough, unfortunately, but I spend a lot of time with people. And from the people, I learn much. And I also learn to exercise grace and kindness throughout this whole journey of mine. I would like to open the floor now to any questions that you may have. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Margaret.
I'll hand the time back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Margaret. I believe everybody pick up 1 point or more than 1 point. That's important. To me, I personally like how Margaret is always so busy, but yet she actually break down all her processes and have processes in place for even appointment. So I was very impressed by that as well. And one more thing is, I will definitely have to practice my pregnant pause. Sometimes when I look at my client, I got nervous first. And that's why I go and drink my water instead of wanting to wait for them for an answer. All right. Okay. So for next session, we are going to invite our language evaluator, Motivational Strategies Level 1, Linda, to share with us her observation. Linda, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Vivian. Can everyone hear me and see my slides? Good.
Yes, we can.
All right, okay. So the word of the day, repeat again, is zeal, which is talking about energy and enthusiasm. All right, I shall move quickly in the interest of time. Right, first up, we move to the people who use the word of the day, zeal, zealous, or zealously. Vivian mentioned, the Toastmaster of the day mentioned she was now zealously introduce the speakers to us. And she asked about, is there anyone who would like to volunteer yourself zealously? Kiki was mentioned very zealous. She was very zealous to make every phone call and the zealous attitude in her work. Sandra mentioned with zealous, with zeal, she is presenting the table topic segment. She also mentioned about Gerald, who zealously mentioned the Toastmasters core value in our group chat. And she subsequently, at the end of the segment, thanked the zealous participation of the table topic speakers. Eileen very zealously volunteered to be one of the table topic speakers. And Margaret also mentioned, feel very old. She was asking about us typing question. I think if we feel very zealous about what we have in mind, and if whether we are zealous, how zealous is your quest for knowledge? And let not your zeal put your foot in your mouth. Kudos to those who have used the word of the day. I'm sure I may have missed some of you, my apologies. I can't type that fast. Now we come to the beautiful use of the language this afternoon. Lenly, the title of a speech, domesticated to liberated. We call this an internal alliteration, whereby the word ended with the same sound. Same thing for here, she said she worked part-time and play full-time. So there is rhyme, time. It's very nice sounding to the ear. Restless, listless, and liveless. And I love the way she used the word elated instead of simply happy. We normally say, oh, I'm so happy I got COVID. But when you use the word elated, you move up a few notch. The happiness is more than just happy. And Colga, that is a very interesting word that she has used. I don't know how to phrase that, but that captures the attention of the audience. And she was excited and delighted. I think when her husband gave her permission to travel. Now we have Maria. Maria talks about heroes. This phrase that she used, I thought it rhymes. Real heroes do not dress like superheroes. So it rhymes there. She also mentioned twinkle. There is a twinkle in his eyes, describing the teacher. It is a vivid description so that we can almost visualize the twinkle in his eyes. And the teacher goes an extra mile, so the students also can go an extra mile. The rhyme is there. And she said she was stunned by his wisdom. The word stunned is a few notch, just simply I was impressed, but stunned. Okay, so get the idea. So it's very important for us to use words that will appropriately describe the feelings or the situation or the environment that you want the audience to have. Kiki's title, react or add value. Wonderful, or value add to your prospect, your clients, the things that we do. Fast and furious, alliteration, F and F. She also used this triad, not really triad, rather a tree, idea of three, that we have no control of the weather, no control with travel, no control over our clients, how our clients respond to us, but we have control in, and she mentioned some things which I couldn't get. So there is this contrast there. No, and but there is something, there's still something that is within our control. I'll get to time myself. Sandra Phua mentioned the table topic, described the table topic as for the speaker will be unprepared and unrehearsed segment. Wonderful. Terence is a master in using triads in trees. He mentioned about the way we carry ourselves, the way we speak, and the way we complete the things that we set out to do. And he also mentioned about what was the topic that he spoke about Was it excellence?
Respect.
Respect, right. And I love the phrase that he used to seek our place in the sun. It is a beautiful description, not just simply say, you know, put our stand or, yeah, but place in the sun. And respect for gender, respect for choices, and respect for colors. He was talking about the respect and the different what you call it, the movement for women, for the Black people, so on and so forth. Favorite topic, who is that? Gordon. Gordon, I love this one. Gordon mentioned about service excellence, whether it's holistic service, and he mentioned from holistic service versus a tunnel vision service. So it is two extreme opposites. Giving your best shot, giving your best, not trying to impress. Beautifully said, there is a rhyme there. And again, try it. The client will know, sense, and discern your intention, your care, and your concern. Francis, when she was evaluating Landy's speech, she mentioned triads. She loves the pace, the pitch, and also the volume of Landy's speech. And Elaine mentioned two words. Of course, there are more. She talks about Maria's description, think of the teacher or of her childhood or what happened in the classroom. It was a vivid description. So vivid description means that we can almost see the scene in our mind's eyes. So using the word, the appropriate word will help the audience to visualize. And she used the word inject, more example, injecting, all right? So that is a beautiful word to use. Terence, when you were evaluating Kiki's speech, same thing, your use of triad. And I also like the way you say giving voice to the voiceless, giving hope to the hopeless. Areas for improvement, right? Areas for improvement. It is a virtual background that we are using, and it is not a light. I know in the former script, when we have physical meeting, we do have a light. However, now on this meeting, it is the virtual background. So therefore, we need to change and use the appropriate word and not just simply copying from the script. Someone mentioned secondary teacher. I think she's referring to her secondary school teacher, right? Secondary teacher, that means it's not the main teacher, your primary teacher and your secondary teacher. So it's completely different, but you're referring to your secondary school teacher. So do not eliminate that word. Can we do our best to eliminate the word good? Instead of a good communicator, we can say it's a skillful communicator, an entertaining communicator. Use clearer words, because good is very wide. It can mean a persuasive communicator. It can mean a harsh communicator. It can mean a soft-spoken. So the word good is really too vague. So as Toastmasters, we must strive to use more appropriate words so that our audience can understand exactly what we are trying to convey. Financially difficulty, it should be financial difficulties. Care so much to your students, no, care so much for your students. Sometimes, all of us here are not native English language speakers. So sometimes we think in Mandarin or we think in another language, then we translate, so it comes out in this manner. So remember that. I and my sisters were often. We usually say my sister and I. Why? What's the difference? My sister and I and my sister? I Google it. Means that it is more polite to always address the other party first. We always put ourselves last. My sister and I, my friend and I. I know Singaporeans, many say I and my friends, I and this. So it should be putting another person, putting others first before us. I determine myself. So it should be I'm determined. Should be ED, is it? And this one is an introduction. Perhaps it's pronunciation that is not too clear. In her pursuit of excellence or pursuit of something, it should be in her pursuit Okay, pursue is a verb. Pursuit is a noun. So in her pursuit for something, I suspect is the pronunciation. All right, this one, very, very comfortable. Again, another word we try to replace, instead of using the word very, we must try to find a more appropriate word to describe, right? So I can't think of any at the moment. If any one of the LE expert, you can just type in the chat group and help us out with this. Areas for improvement. Does this render a huge reaction? I would say a strong reaction would be slightly more appropriate. This is one word which some speakers always use. The word is actually. So you see, the person mentioned that her speech is actually about her students. Her speech is really about her students. So we don't have to say that her speech is actually about the students. Her speech is about the students. Oh, they actually know the benefit of their plans. Simply put, they know the benefits of their plans. This is very Americanized. Do you get scolded every day? And I'm like, you know, in America, they like to use the word like. I'm like so impatient. I'm like, give him a piece of my mind. Eliminate the word like. All right. I'm like, cannot stand the way he speaks. No, I simply cannot stand the way he speaks. Eliminate that, right? Very Americanized. Pronunciation. Remember, it is quarantine and not quarantine. Quickly and not quickly. Quickly. And trepidation. Another word is zeal. Zeal, we all have no problem, but when it becomes an adjective, is zealous. It's not zealous. All right, it's not zealous. Zeal, yes, then it becomes zealous. That's all I have. Sorry, I exceeded a little bit. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for your very detailed and insightful informations and also sharings. So next we have Gordon to share with us her observations on our counter as well. Gordon, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Now, being the first time, I try my best. Now, throughout the session till now, I also counted what is the most used word that for pause counter. The word is so, S-O, used 11 times. And the next commonly used word is and, okay, A-N-D. But that's not what I meant when you use it as part of a sentence. But if you really use it to pause, yes, I'll count that in. Word like for example, I don't count that in because as Francis used the word what is part of a word, so it's not counted. Okay, we have, I won't go into very, very detail, okay, but I think these are generally that. Now, other than that, I'm actually quite, I'm pleasantly surprised that our speakers generally don't use a lot of that, a lot of these pause fillers, okay. I just want to highlight a couple. Maria used 2 so and 1 n. Kiki used 2 so and 2 n. Eileen used 2 so. The rest are not very material. So I think that's basically, the rest is just one time. I thought we don't want to highlight those things. So that's all I have. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Gordon. Vivian needs to make a move and I'll take over from here. Next up, Kiki, are you ready to do the announcement?
Sure. Can I have the slides up, please?
Okay, 1 minute.
No, it's
Sorry. Let me see. Yeah.
I am sure we are all waiting. It's been a long time since we can meet again. And when the slides up, I have good news to share with everyone.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Yay.
It is in the making. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Awesome. For the May chapter meeting, it will be a combined meeting on the 12th of May, and we will be combining with Yishun Toastmasters, and that will be a hybrid meeting, which means for all of us, we are eagerly wanting to meet people face to face. This is a great chance. We only have 5 slots left because we control the numbers still a little bit. So we have our participants from both chapters to come together, and you still have the option to join virtually, of course. So it's a hybrid meeting. If you do wish to join the face-to-face session, please do let me know or show, just indicate in the group chat. We will take in your name. Remember, there are only 5 slots left. Please do let us know early. So the time will be 7 to 9:30 on the 12th of May. Okay, it's a great chance. If you have not yet spoken in the face-to-face opportunity, this is a great time to step out of your comfort zone. And May NFNF will be on the 26th of May. Please do mark your calendars. NFNF, as usual, is 12 o'clock to 2:15-ish or 2. We try to end on time, and details will be announced soon. So please do check your calendar if you want to join the face-to-face meeting. This will be a great chance on the 12th evening. And for those of you who are planning your calendars ahead, please do log in to secure your speaking slots and or your appointment, whichever appointment positions that you are keen to try or to practice. This is a great chance to practice not in front of the clients, but to volunteer, fill in the Google Drive so that we could track and we could produce the program sheet as early as possible. Thank you so much for your participations, and look forward to grow with you together in this speaking journey. Thank
I
you.
think there is one more announcement. Next slide, please. Right. We're going to have our Toastmasters Club annual general meeting on 12th of May at 2:30 p.m. So all members are encouraged to come attend the meeting.
Mark your calendars.
Is this a physical meeting, Francis?
I think we'll just do
Venue
Zoom
is
for
still
now.
Zoom as per what you see here.
No,
At
no,
2:30.
that was not the question. So the thing is that just wanted to point out some of us might not be in Singapore then. Huh?
Sorry, come again?
Some of us might not be in Singapore then, including myself.
That's why I asked you whether you can make it that day or not before I set this date.
Yeah, yes. I'm such an idiot. I so many things on my mind. I forgot. Okay, apologies.
Right. So, well, if it is subjected to change, then just let me know. I will make the necessary change and update the rest.
So the club, no, I have to turn up because I'm the IPD. Therefore, I have to chair the meeting.
Okay. Right.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. So next up, thank you, Kiki. Next up is the awards presentations. Can we,
birthday celebration.
Our birthday girl just left. Oh, but Maria is around, right? Maria, is she still around? Yeah? Happy birthday, Maria.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
It's last month actually.
Last month?
Yeah,
it's okay. They don't know, just take the cake and run.
Can someone else take the photo because I can't? I'm resharing screen.
Yes, I'm taking.
Okay, great.
Can you pin and somebody pin?
Maria?
Happy 21st.
Pin Maria.
was
Let me
always
try.
Jennifer.
Let me see.
Why is there
pin her.
always this like some kind of thing blocking the screen?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
This
censored.
black bar.
Censored.
The black bar is up. Okay. Maria, come give a nice.
Oh, the black
bright
bar.
smile.
Okay.
Maria, one,
Yes.
two. Oh yeah, the black bar
Okay.
comes back again. Hold on,
Oh, yeah.
Maria.
Mm.
Okay, Maria, 1, 2, 3, done.
Quick one. Wow.
So,
Yes, I have to race with that bar.
yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
We can do the awards presentation right now, right?
Okay, yes. As we are moving along.
Yeah.
Awards. There we go. Best speaker.
Okay, best speaker, Lenley. Well done. Congratulations.
Woohoo. Can you pin somebody pin her? Spotlight her, I mean.
Ayo, so fast.
No, not yet. She is still not on my screen. Okay, she's on the screen, but the black bar. Okay, Landy, get ready.
Wait a while.
Wrong,
Let me
wrong.
remove the
change
control.
the slides first.
Okay, here we go.
No, the black.
Wrong slides.
No, the bar is still there.
I didn't know Landy got the same name as me.
Okay, line 1, 2, 3, done.
Wrong. Wait. The wrong slides.
等一下 OK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next one. Best evaluator, Terrence.
Thank you.
Highlight, spotlight Terrence, please.
I promise to be
Hey,
good.
just now did I take picture evidently? I wasn't smiling, right?
No.
Can somebody spotlight her?
Spotlight who? Lenley? Just now taken already.
Already what?
Taken already, Okay, now it's
taken,
Terrence,
but without Francis. Now it's Terrence.
Okay, then
okay,
just
somebody
Terrence
spotlight
down.
Terrence because I can't do that.
I will
hide the
spotlight.
bar already.
Okay.
All
So
right,
just Terrence will do.
Just Terrence will do. Okay,
Yeah.
Terrence, come 1, 2, 3, done.
Okay, next is best stable topic speaker. Oh, Terrence.
Hiya. Yeah, freeze there, yes. Done, Terrence, done.
Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'll make this closing address a short one. A big thank you to all. You want to switch off the?
Wait.
You want to unshare? Yeah. Okay, a big thank you to all the appointment holders and speakers and participants. And special thanks to our Division G Director for her fabulous sharing, as well as taking up the role of SAA at the very last minute, and as well as a Zoom Master. Also, a big thank you to Gordon for stepping up as the R counter today. This is his first attempt as the R counter today. Great job, well done. Let's give him a round of applause. And also for Margaret as well. Well done. Thank you all for this meeting. And have a good afternoon.
Okay, guys, see you all. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.